Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today we're talking about Hamnet, directed by Chloe Zhao, adapted from the Maggie O'Farrell novel, which is of course a fictionalized story narrative, I guess, about William Shakespeare and his home life and inspiration and the writing of his famous tragedy play Hamlet. Yeah, I saw this last night in theaters. It was just like widely released on Thursday. I'm filming this Saturday morning. I saw it last night, Friday, and it was just widely released Thursday night. So I got to see it early, opening weekend, and yeah, there's gonna be spoilers in this video because I think that this is a particularly difficult one to talk about without some form of spoiling. So if you haven't seen it yet, come back and watch this after you've seen it, if you don't want spoilers. So, Hamnet. I guess I'll start by saying I did really enjoy this film. I will say I tried to read the book. I don't mind, like, I have no issues watching films that are like historical fiction. I just have a really difficult time reading this, like the language. I only made it like 2 chapters in and I just knew it wasn't for me, and I don't want to force myself to read something that I wasn't feeling. So I haven't read the book, so that is going to be kind of absent from me talking about this. If I have read the book, I'm interested to know your thoughts on the adaptation from book to film. So I guess I will start by saying the things that I loved about the film, because there are a few things I didn't like, but I did give this a 4.5 star rating, so I did really like it. I think Jessie Buckley, who played Agnes, which is Shakespeare's wife, his love interest, the mother of his children, and arguably the main character of this, over Shakespeare, who's played by Paul Mescal. I thought Jessie Buckley was absolutely fantastic. She's starting to get nominations for Best Actress. I think she should win the Oscar based on the performances I've seen so far this year. I was completely enamored with her. I thought the way that she portrayed grief and pain, and also wonder, and she just had this sort of like delicateness to her throughout most of the film, but she was able to really tap into this raw, just animalistic portrayal of grief and like deep despair that I thought was just incredible to watch, and I believed everything she did. Furthermore, I believed every actor in this entire cast throughout the film. Just absolutely incredible acting all around, just gorgeous cast. Also, my cats are doing like WWE on the bed next to me, so if you can hear them, what are you gonna do? I just really loved this. I thought, again, Paul Mescal has really been impressing me. I don't like a lot of his projects, unpopular opinion. The first film, like the first time I saw him in something that I liked was earlier this year. Sorry, the cats are crazy. So Paul Mescal, and not to say he's untalented, I just haven't liked the projects that he's chosen, and that's not really nothing to do with him, but it's made it difficult for me to like get into the Paul Mescal of it all. He was fantastic as well. I just loved his portrayal. He had a lot more kind of softness and subtleness to his performance than most of the other actors, just due to the nature of the character, but I loved it. I thought the sort of like cinematography and production design, that this was really beautiful visually, which is something that's really important to me as audience. I care about that sort of thing, like the way something's filmed and shot and how it looks. But because I do like art house films, so that's something that I care about. I will say, I did take my boyfriend to this one who, this is not a him type of movie, and I told him that beforehand. He said he still wanted to go because I was excited about it. He really liked it. He said it was a 4-star for him, and he's just more of kind of like a blockbuster or like action-packed thriller type of guy, so he's not really like into the slow burn artsy kind of thing, and he really liked this as well. I did cry. This is a really emotionally kind of intense from start to finish. It's a very sad, it's a very you just really feel everything that's happening. I love to cry during a movie. I think if there's a film that I can cry and laugh and smile during, that's a sign of a film that is good. It's good storytelling, it's impactful, it's connective, and I did experience a lot of emotions. I want to talk about briefly, because I don't want this to be too long, but I want to talk about the beginning of the film and the end of the film specifically, because I will say that the middle did lose me. I had a lot of difficulties with the middle, which moves pretty slowly, not a lot happens. There's a lot of absence of the Shakespeare character, and I felt that when there was the most like magic on screen was with Paul Mescal and Jessie Buckley together. So I think it loses a lot of steam when they are separate, and I did struggle with that a little bit. But the beginning of the film, when we get to see like sort of the beginning of their love story and this sort of like rapid passage of time, when the kids are quite young or being born, there's this really kind of fun, just like whimsy that's present in the first 30 minutes or so that I wasn't expecting, maybe 45 minutes, where we get to see a little bit of the love story, like the family dynamic, and I was really touched and kind of moved by this sort of love story, even though I kind of knew where the train was headed and that we were going down. I enjoyed the sort of lighter parts of the film, and I thought they were like a real strength, especially because there's so much heaviness in the back half. And speaking of the back half, the ending scene, and this is like, we're really in spoiler territory here, when the Jessie Buckley character and Joe Alwyn, who like keeps popping up in fantastic films, so good for him, I guess, but when they go to see the tragedy of Hamlet on stage, and just the like rawness of the last 15 minutes of the film, and when she reaches out her hand and everyone reaches out their hands, it's what broke me. I made it dry-eyed through the entirety of the film until the last 15 minutes. I was doing so well. And then I think just the beauty of and like the and and this idea that Shakespeare was so avoidant. He wasn't there for his son's death, and then he couldn't even bear to be around his family, so he's now put himself in a position where he has to watch his son die every night on stage, as this constant reminder of what he missed, and this like deep tragedy that he that's impacted him, and also that he's so racked by this guilt and so unable to face his family that he's turned into this ghost figure, right? Like, I just thought the symbolism was so poignant, just really beautiful, just a really powerful message, and that this retelling gave Anya's her character this ability to not heal, but almost have a healing kind of moment at the end, and just this like whirlwind of emotions that we go on in the last 15 minutes with the Anya's character and with the Will character, I just thought and all of the child performances in this are stellar. The reason that it's not a 5-star film for me is, one, the middle did drag, and for something to be a 5-star for me, it's just got to be perfect. I am a tough critic. In fact, I've watched 45 new releases this year, and I think I've given out 2 5-stars, maybe one. I don't know, I'll talk about that more in another video, but and I also don't feel that this has rewatch value. I could be wrong, but I don't see this being a film that I reach for again. Certainly not anytime soon. And that's partially due to the like emotional heaviness, but also just this isn't like a me type of film. I knew that it would be beautiful and like objectively good, but I wasn't sure if I was going to like it. It's not just about the language, but also I'm just not like a time period, like a period piece type of person. So I didn't know how I would feel about it, but I did really love it. I just don't think it's going to be rewatchable, and it did drag in that kind of like second act. Overall, like I said, Hamnet is a 4.5-star film for me, although a lot of times I rate films high, and then when I do rewatch them, I drop them a little bit. So it could have just been like the theater experience. I was in a packed theater, so I felt like I was kind of feeding off the emotions around me too, but I recommend it. I understand why it's starting to get awards recognition, so I'm into that, and I think Jessie Buckley deserves the Oscar for Best Actress this year, based on what I've seen. Let me know your thoughts down below. I will link my letterboxd in the description. If you guys are active on Letterboxd, I do rate and write a short little review for every single film that I watched. I've watched over 240 films so far this year, so if you want to check out my taste and my little reviews, you're welcome to do so. I'd love to connect with you guys on there. I will also say, if you're new to this channel and haven't been here before, but you like movie content, there's a lot more coming the end of this year, especially now that awards and nominations are starting to be announced. I have plans to talk about like my top 10 films of the year, tier ranking all of the new releases that I watched this year. Like I said, I'm already at 45 and we've still got a few weeks left. Of course, I'm gonna talk about the Critics' Choice nominations soon, which were released yesterday. Golden Globes nominations are released in 2 days, and then of course in January we will have Oscar nominations. So lots more film content coming, as well as my typical ASMR content. But thank you guys so much for being here. Let me know what you want to see from me next down below. I hope you're staying safe, happy, and healthy, and I will see you all in my next video.